The secret cheat code in life is to be born rich. For the rest of us, we need to find another way to get ahead. And let's face it, if you're doing your taxes on a 1040EZ, you're probably not getting there. Most of us instinctively turn to the stock market or crypto to seek returns, where you can get started with just a few dollars. And we all know that real estate can also make a great investment. But to get started, you need to have a lot of money, a lot of business partners, or be willing to take on a lot of debt. Are you willing to take on a six-figure debt to buy a rental property that might provide some small cash flow? I'm not. And that's why I'm on another mission. Is it possible to buy real estate starting with $0 and taking on no debt? Is it possible to freeload your way into a real estate investment? I'm going to find out. I call this endeavor the Freeloader Challenge. In the preceding 6 episodes, I collected approximately $4,050 that I'm holding across a smattering of bank accounts and crypto wallets. The crypto winter continuing over the past month pushed me back down below $4,000, but the grind continues and we will rise back up. In this episode, I will demonstrate how I freeloaded $350 in Amazon gift cards, $150 in PayPal payouts, one spacecraft-shaped USB condenser microphone, $311 in Cardano, $3 in shitcoins, and one rechargeable LED flashlight. In total, this makes $814. With the guidance of viewers Superplays and Shadow Fear, I also got a simple solution to last episode's Visa gift card problem by using PayPal, which let me liquidate another $190 after fees. Let's check out how I did it. We will explore 3 freeloader buckets this round. Focus groups are my bread and promotion churning my butter, so we will of course explore those 2 as usual. In one that we haven't explored in a while, the secret shopper bucket. This was a fun one, but I want to start with the other 2 because these are where the real money is at. Between focus groups and promotion churning, that's probably about 80% of my freeloader money so far. I talk about these all the time, so my goal this episode will be to share some tips on how to actually get into focus groups because I keep hearing that you guys are signing up to 20 and not getting into any. I also want to talk about the huge opportunity in promotion churning running until June 24th. So let's get started with focus groups. As I've described before, sometimes when a company wants to do market research, they just pay someone to share their opinion. We can be that person. Typically, the pay is between $50 to $100 an hour, but I've seen as low as $40 and as high as $300, so it varies pretty widely. This past month, I got into 3 focus groups from the website User Interviews and 2 through Facebook ads. From User Interviews, 2 were pretty benign. One of them wanted feedback on a virtual meeting platform that has recently dropped in share price. I get the impression they wanted to make it more useful to people outside of corporate meetings. This one paid me $110 in Amazon gift cards for an hour. Another was on how to get people to donate more money to wildlife conservation. They were having a hard time convincing people that their money was actually helping nature, so they wanted some tips. This one paid me a $100 Amazon gift card for an hour. The third from User Interviews was much more interesting. It's a company that is making a zombie video game and wanted feedback from a panel of interviewees on their art and their story. I expected a Walking Dead type game, but instead the game takes place 200 years after a zombie apocalypse, where humans got back on the technological advancement curve and rich and powerful people have turned zombies into weapons against the poor and the rebellious. It was more of a cyberpunk game with zombies in it than a zombie survival game, and I found it fascinating. I wish I could share more, but I had to sign an NDA. I couldn't take images during the focus group, so I just made these on PowerPoint, and you get the idea. I really hope they make this game. The genre needs a rehash. And for this one, I was paid a generous $150 for a 2-hour group interview. If this sounds like something you want to get into, and I really recommend you do, use my referral to User Interviews in the description. We'll both get an extra $10 after your first interview. But I keep hearing in the comments and in our Discord that some of you are having a hard time actually getting into the focus groups. Here's my advice about how to get selected when you screen. 1. Always indicate that you've never done a focus group before. More than half will screen you out if you say that you've done one in the past year. Just say you haven't, no one's checking. Number 2, say you're mixed race in the screeners. We're all mixed race anyway, and although I can't guarantee this helps, I mark that I'm mixed race and I seem to get accepted more than most people. Number 3, if you don't see anything good on the browse page, go to the bottom and select View Referral Opportunities. This will take you to a larger list of focus groups. User Interviews doesn't think you're likely to get picked for these based on your profile, but the website doesn't really know you that well, and I've found plenty for which I'm a good fit and got accepted into from this screen. And number 4, I'm pretty sure geography has a lot to do with who gets selected. A lot of people say they get into LNE research studies, but they can't get into user interviews, and I have the opposite problem. And I think where you live has some effect. So try L&D research as well. And don't forget, you've got Facebook for focus groups too. Speaking of which, I got into 2 focus groups from Facebook ads. One of which was appropriately enough about the impact of social media on self-esteem, for which I was paid $60 of Amazon cards for an hour. And the other was a company interested in monetizing a social media platform that currently is upsetting their shareholders. They paid me $80 in Amazon cards for 30 minutes. My only advice about getting into Facebook ad-based user interviews is that when you're searching for focus group websites, you'll start seeing targeted ads on Facebook. Even if you don't like a particular study, apply for it so that Facebook will send you more focus group ads. Most Facebook focus groups are focused on social media, not surprisingly, so indicate that you are a heavy user of social media and otherwise just follow the same screener rules as before. From the focus groups bucket, this totals $350 in Amazon cards that I'll have to liquidate and $150 in PayPal. Total time is 5.5 hours of interviewing, so $109 an hour. After you add the time I spent searching and signing up, you're probably at about 7.5 hours or $80. Moving on to the promotion churning bucket, my focus was once again on Freecash, the website I've raved about before and will continue using. On Freecash, you get paid to sign up to services like banks, crypto exchanges, or brokerages, and you get paid to play games. It's basically another form of advertising that just pays users to try products instead of using traditional advertising. If this sounds like your jam, join with my referral in the description and you'll get a bonus award to start your earnings. I've made several videos about how to use Freecash already, and I strongly recommend anyone even remotely interested watch my video about the Kamikaze Cash leaderboard. Since we collectively broke $250,000 of earnings on that website, Freecash made us an exclusive rewards ladder. Watch that video, join Theta Gang's free Discord, and hang out with us to make some money. The top 100 earners among my affiliates will split a $5,000 prize pool. Top winner gets $1,600. Right now, Vidi Vici Veni is winning with 373,000 points, but it's still anyone's race. My tips for getting the most out of Freecash are as follows. 1. When you click any offer, before you put any more effort in, go straight back to the offer wall and select the support menu. Make sure it's tracking that you clicked the offer. If it doesn't, check back in an hour, and if you still don't see clicked or pending, stop doing the offer. Something went wrong at sign up. Number 2, if you're on iOS, make sure your settings don't automatically stop apps from tracking you. If Freecash and the app can't track your progress, you can't get paid. Make sure you're not defaulting to prevent tracking. And number 3, don't get bogged down with cheap offers. Do the high-paying ones when you see them, and new ones will be available in the next week. Check last week's video for my favorites to get your first $600. I collected $311 from Freecash this round. While I normally just withdraw my earnings as Bitcoin to my Trust wallet, instead I withdrew Litecoin to Coinbase since the fees are lowest, and then I converted to Cardano. Why? I want to participate in Cardano airdrops through the Eternal wallet. We'll talk more about that later. And finally, let's get to the secret shopper bucket. In this bucket, I'm taking advantage of rebates, promotions, or giveaways in order to collect free stuff or receive money. This time, I did some rebating with suspicious foreign assets in order to get a free flashlight and microphone. It's totally worth it. I was cruising Facebook for focus group ads, and I kept seeing weird advertisements for unspecified work from home opportunities. These are usually just Ponzi schemes. But I said fuck it and I messaged the advertiser. I got in touch with Ibraj Gokchar, which is obviously a fake name, who wanted me to buy products off Amazon, review them, and then be reimbursed 100%. All the scammers and Ponzi group people have profiles like this. It's always a 6 to 8 looking girl whose name does not make any sense. Refer to my Scam the Scammer video if you need a refresher. I thought for sure this was going to be another scam, but I'm a freeloader and I figured this was worth a shot. Ibraj called me a dear friend and sent me a bunch of pictures of things I could buy and review. I selected a flashlight and a microphone, and she sent me instructions to buy on Amazon. The return policy on the Amazon website said I wouldn't have any trouble getting refunded if Ibraj didn't come through. So I went for it, and I paid about $60 for these 2 items. Luckily, I had Amazon cards from user interviews referrals that would eliminate putting my own money on the line. But Ibraj said her unspecified boss wouldn't confirm the order if I used gift cards. I had to use real money from my credit card, or the deal was off. Red flags were going off big time, but it was the real Amazon site. These items were listed normally on Amazon, and I really couldn't put my finger on what the scam was. Everything pointed to them just paying people to review their products. And if they didn't pay, the Amazon return policy said I could just send them back. So, fuck it, I bought. I'm sure Ibraj wanted a 5-star review before she refunded me, and I decided in advance that I wouldn't give a 5-star review unless it was actually a good product. Luckily for me, I never faced that conflict of interest because this is one of the best freaking flashlights I have ever used, and that's saying something. I was in the army and I've been around flashlights before. This thing had a rechargeable battery, a strobe light, multiple levels of brightness, durable design, waterproof. It was a 5-star item through and through. I reviewed the item as required, and Ibraj did refund me the entire price plus the tax and the PayPal fee. I got a free flashlight. It's the same exact thing with the microphone. So I ordered some more stuff, and I expect this to work out again. I didn't make any money here yet, but I figure I can sell these free items for a fraction of their actual value on a Facebook Marketplace group, and that'll put money into my pocket. Likewise, I intend to sign up to a new crypto cashback credit card so I can get paid to buy the products for which I'll then be refunded. If you have any recommendations on crypto rewards cards, message me. My advice on this bucket, be cautious. This was really risky for me to do, and there's definitely someone getting scammed here. My expectation is that this is an advertising scam in which Ibraj's company is spoofing conversions to make it look like they're running a legitimate marketing campaign for their clients. Or maybe I get ghosted and I have to hope Amazon lets me return these items when the seller no longer exists. Or worst case scenario, they try to demand a refund for their refund on PayPal, and PayPal tries to take money out of my account to refund Ibraj. I'm not sure what I would do in that case and what PayPal would have in mind if they try to do that. If you decide to attempt this, I definitely recommend every item you click on has a liberal return policy. You do not want to get ghosted by Ibraj Gokchar and then find out that Amazon doesn't take returns on that item. Overall, I rate this bucket a hold. Step in cautiously and don't be surprised if you get hit with a scam somewhere. If that happens to me, I will let you guys know. Now for the matter of what to do with these earnings. For my Amazon cards, I of course turned to my shadow associate Joe Blackwood to purchase the cards at 95% of face value. Mr. Blackwood was happy to make the transaction once again, giving me $333 for the $350 of cards. That'll go straight into my aspiration checking account. Last episode, I had a $195 Visa card left over that I didn't know how to liquidate. It turns out all I had to do was open a second PayPal account, link that Visa card, and send it to myself. I recovered about 98% of face value after fees, so that brings in another $191. Plus the $150 I got direct to PayPal for that focus group, that's $341. In total, I will add all $674 to aspiration from the focus groups bucket. From Promotion Churning, I mentioned I collected $311, which I converted to Cardano so I can participate in airdrops. Cardano airdrop projects are more highly vetted than Binance Smart Chain scams, so I think this is the best network for staking rewards. Right now, I'm delegating to Genius X, from which I anticipate receiving airdropped Iagon and Genius tokens. I don't really know what those are, but they sound pretty good on paper, and I'm sure a few months from now I'll have a much better understanding of Cardano and airdrops. I owe a big thank you to CamHef for showing me how this is done. And finally, I've got these free items from the Secret Shopper bucket. Right now, I intend to keep or give away the items I collected to friends and family. But this is likely to change in the future, and I'll likely go to Facebook Marketplace to sell these in my neighborhood. I think the best bet at this point would be to hold the profit as cash in aspiration. All summed up, I have $3,103 in my aspiration account and $1,415 across 5 cryptocurrency accounts. This totals $4,518. Despite making over $800 this episode, I'm only up about $500 from the last episode because the crypto winter shaved off the rest. But this is all good progress, and I'm probably about 10% of the way to buying a shitty ghetto-adjacent studio apartment to fund my Theta Gang fiefdom. I have big expectations for some ideas I have baking, like the Cardano airdrops and matched betting, which should accelerate this pace. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to join Discord, where we have our own channel dedicated to freeloading. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next episode.